Hello, everyone. This is Wei, developer advocate from KubeVela team. I'm not sure if Hongchao is coming for the event. So maybe there are three of us to have a chat. And I can see, this is the first time I met Andren, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I just was poking around and I figured I'd see what's happening.
Yeah, welcome again to OAM and KubeVela community. Let me just share the screen. You can using the meeting note to type in as an attendee and type in the agenda you want to share in the talk. And other than that, actually, for this time, I don't have a many share to the latest release on OAM, also KubeVela side. I think I'm very interested in what bring you here, Andren, OAM or KubeVela. What bring you here?
Yeah, sure. I have a project in mind that I thought would fit really well. I've done. I'm kind of in the research phase, so I'm kind of looking for something to make it easy to push forward. I've also looked at the OLM Operation Lifecycle Manager, which might be a good fit. So it's just kind of just trying to just do some research and see what the progress is.
Yeah. So what are basics have you knowing about KubeVela OAM?
I've done a lot of reading on KubeVela specifically. I've tried to do a sample project of my own to sort of get the feel for it. I know about Q. I like Q, so that's kind of the biggest attraction for using it. So that's kind of where I'm at so far.
Got it. Let me just explain maybe some connections or relationships between open application model named as OAM and KubeVela. So originally, OAM is a abstraction layer that's building upon the Kubernetes, which we are aiming to, taking care of all details from infrastructure and don't let DevOps to do all the stuff related to step set deployment, those kind of base type Kubernetes resources or CRDs. So on that, we are introducing the model and located as the four core concepts, as you know, applications, components, traits, and policies. So for now, for the project of the KubeVela itself, we want it to aim to solve the CD pipelines. If you can see the screen I'm sharing right now, you can see the city pipelines is where we are located the project on for now. Maybe we will, left moving it to a CI, like using a image updater that connect the CI at the end of the CI process. That will be a image, right? So that will be the action in the future. That means in the far more future, we want let DevOps people, self-help it to automate all the process of CI and CD, right? You're just writing a very few related KubeVela configurations, then it will kick for the whole process for you. And this is a big picture for the future of this project. And right now, if you can give any suggestions or feedbacks from using KubeVela for CD, that would be very appreciated. And yeah.
So like I said, I'm just getting started, but one thing that sort of I'm looking for is something that will let me work on. I don't know a good phrase for it, so I'm going to sort of poach a term. We have the day one operations and the day two operations, but is there? I need a bridge between those two things. I need a bridge between getting a cluster set up, getting the applications up and running, and then after, how do I get it from there to be actually usable? Like, for example, say I want to set up a Git T server. I want to use that as my Git repository, but I also want to use an LDAP server for authentication. So I need something that is, after I get those two pieces set up and running, I need to connect the admin account from one to the other so that I can not have to touch it in order to get people to log in. So that's kind of my biggest pain point right now is I need something that will do that for me. Or at least something that will make it easy for if I write a connector to inject it into that system.
Right. I see. I think you are afraid of the security issues that when you are managing like multi-cloud and multi-clusters in different places, right?
No, not really. It's how do I set up the plumbing in between two services that are intended to talk to each other? How do I, so go back to the Git T, how I want to be able to use the database. I don't want to use the built-in SQLite. I want to use a dedicated database. So I can go out and I can find, systems and ways to set those up. And I can either use a Helm chart for both of them and I can drop them in there. But at least I haven't found it yet. There's a disconnect between step one and step two.
Are you referring to the configuration between the two software?
I didn't hear you.
Sorry, are you referring to the configuration required between the software?
The configuration and then sort of the service account maintenance of it. I guess MySQL is a bad example, but if I want to connect this Git server to a CI service, like say Travis, I need an API key that I get from Travis that I wind up putting into the Git config so that it knows how to talk to it, right? After I get that done, I don't care anymore about what that value is. And that's sort of the pain point that I'm trying to solve, and that's what I'm looking at here. Is this something that I could leverage to help me get from day one, install the services, to day two of having it up and running and usable.
Right, thanks, Andrew. I think maybe could you please take just 1 or 2 minutes to write it down in the agenda or in the notes that give me more time to figure out how to answer it to you.
Sure.
Yeah. And also another, also Hong Chao is coming. I think he's online and he's more sophisticated on the skills on this side. I think he may be able to answer your questions.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make a note in just a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate it. And when I'm sharing the screen, I couldn't see how many attended. Isn't it? All right. I think Hong Chao is here.
Hello, everyone. So what's the progress here? Like,
We're just chatting, and Andrew and pretty new to the community. He's very interested in the project and have done some research, and he just popped up with a question. I think maybe Andrew, could you just go again? Let's see if Hong Chao can answer directly.
Sure. So I'm kind of in the research phases of trying to figure out this thing. You know, we have the concept of day one and day two operations, where day one is let's set up a system, you know, and then get it running, and then day two is let's keep it up, let's keep it running. So, you know, we apply security patches. We have, you know, blue green that does that. We have GitOps that does that. All kinds of things like that. But I'm missing a step, and I'm trying to figure out a way to do that. And that is, how do I get two services that I've set up to talk to each other, to work together? And the example I'm using right now is say I have Git set up with user accounts in it, and there's a webhook that goes to a CI service, say Travis or Drone or something like that. I'm looking for something that will automatically and in perpetuity maintain that connection between the two, of whether it's an OAuth application setup, OAuth config, or, you know, whatever sort of, maybe it's a JWT token that needs to be set up and configured, or something like that. I need a bridge between those two setup steps to make it useful, that I don't want to do by hand. And that's what I'm doing in the research here. That's why I joined the meeting, to see if you guys had approached that yet.
so just make sure I understand your question correctly. Like you are trying to do some like blue canary rollout, right? Could you sorry, I'm getting a little lost.
So, all right, let's talk about Git and Drone, right? Git is a Git service, or GOGS, either one. They provide the repository. They have a user management section. They have they'll use a database connection, whether it's MySQL or Postgres or whatever. And then you can set up LDAP. So the LDAP search function needs to have an admin account to read and check passwords. If you set up Drone next to it, you have to configure the webhook in Git to send an authorization token to Drone in order to allow the process to kick off. So I can do that by hand, right? I can have a Git deployment. I can have a database deployment. I can use kube control to apply those. And then after that's all done, on day 2 operations, I can have automatic updates. If I want to use Flux to automatically update images, that's fine. But what happens in between is there's a user account or a service account management or a authorization token, OAuth is involved lots of times. I need something to keep track of those.
I see. Like, so I think this is sort of related. You want like, so basically when you're setting up the Git, it sort of includes a lot of like manual work. You are trying to automate this thing automated, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think part of that, like, so that includes like setting up the user repository, like setting up the LDAP, like documentation. You're trying to setting up the database connection, like and also the authorization, like tokens and OAuth, like modules, etc. This kind of thing, is it related to Kubernetes or something? Like, if it's so, one of our focus is on Kubernetes. Like, if you're trying to do it, like do some kubectl, or you're trying to like do some operations on Kubernetes resources, like that's definitely included in like KubeVela scope. But like if it's outside, so I'm not sure, like if you're just trying to interact with Git and this kind of thing, that's not even deploying applications. Like I'm not quite sure that's quite related.
So I can definitely see that it's out of scope right now. Like I do see that KubeVela is specifically about I can configure a list of applications that I want up and running and available.
欢迎回来。
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so
problem.
and I was just looking for, and that's why I joined today, was to hear if there were any discussions about what happens after all that.
So like if you're just doing something like like deploying applications, like after that on to Kubernetes, that's like that's inside KubeVela scope. But like just setting up the GitHub repository or interacting with Git or GitHub or something like that, like I'm afraid that's not related. It's outside of scope. Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to make sure I understand the question. Like now, you mentioned about like a lot about getting those like two software work together. Like you put an example about Getir and like working for LDAP. So like that would be like linking the Getir using the LDAP as a security like kind of directory like for login. So that will usually involve some kind of configuration in the Getir side. Some kind of security token, as you mentioned, that probably may be required. Now, usually if we are going to deploy like those system manually, then we are going to basically like put those tokens, put those configuration by hand. Now, if we are going to do it automatically, like usually that's going to be, you probably know that too. Like it's usually going to require people to write some script to basically like insert like those token like into certain places. So then during the CDCI process, that kind of integration configuration is going to be there. Is that the thing that you're looking for? Like how like those things can be those software can be configured so that they can integrate or work together? Or you're actually looking for something else?
No, that's really close to what I'm trying. The problem I'm trying to solve is what you just said. Yeah, I'm thinking of multiple teams in a large organization that they each describe different needs for how their environments are set up. So we all know they want a Git server, and we all know that they're supposed to use a centralized authentication, but maybe one of them wants to use Postgres and the other one wants to use MySQL. And so we have a catalog of applications that are available to them, and they get to pick and choose which ones they want. And everyone has different endpoints, and everyone has every different service has different endpoints, and every service has different ways of authenticating. Is something? Is this a problem that you guys have talked about? And that's really what I'm. And it sounds like no, you guys haven't, and that's fine. I'll take that as an answer. I'm just doing my research here and trying to figure out what's available before I try to figure it out on my own.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's great for you to join us and like get reached to us. Yeah, this great. All right. And wait, and any other topics?
Do you have something to share with the release? Really, I believe there weren't any major updates on the project.
Right. Yeah, actually, like we are now marching towards the next release of KubeVela, like 1.2, like KubeVela 1.2. So we will build like a dashboard to like provide like better KubeVela experience, KubeVela like continuous delivery, like deployment experience, experience. Yeah, please keep your head around. Like we will release in 1 or 2 weeks soon. Cool. Yeah, that's all I have to share.
And I don't think maybe our friends are not familiar with the new date. But I suppose we didn't change the time, right? And this time we are not have some old friends to join us together. And it's okay. And for Andren, if maybe I can have privately reach to you. Really want to have a chat with you on the question you are pursuing. It seems like a question that a problem that you're trying to solve is inside like infrastructures and like a thing that you would solve between cross-function teams, software engineer teams, but it's not like the thing of orchestra deployment, orchestra applications. So maybe it's quite different, but still, I would like to have some chat with you afterwards. If you can left your LinkedIn or any accounts that I can reach out to you, that would be good.
Yeah, sure. I logged into the document with my Gmail address. You can hit me up with that.
Yeah. Great. Thanks. And other than that, if someone have anything new to discuss, if not, we may call it an end.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for everyone. All right, see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yes, bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night from China. Bye-bye.